everybody, how's it going? It's Brian. So I've been busy in the boat today again, putting some of the finishing touches on, getting some of the electrical done, and just spending time in here kind of messing around. I'll show you what I've done today so far. Today we installed 120 watt power. Right there, that's my inverter. And the cool thing is I've had this inverter for a couple of decades. I used to have it in the minivan, God, I think when my kids were little, and we would go camping or whatever, and I'd put a little mini fridge. Well, it was really a cooler that was powered to run as a small refrigerator to keep stuff cold. So I installed this in. It's feeding off of the battery, and it's dual switched, so the unit itself is powered right here, on off switch, but I've got it hooked up to my panel, and I can turn that on. Oh. And there we go. It's got a fan. It's a little bit noisy, but it's not an unpleasant noise. After hearing that, I kind of considered on putting it on the other side of the wall, but you know, that's more of a potentially wet space, and I don't anticipate running this thing a whole lot. If we go camping, I imagine we could take a little refrigerator along with us, a little cube that I have planned. And, you know, so what if it runs for a night or a day or whatever? I'll definitely have to install a secondary battery to make sure we don't blow through our power too quickly. And that's kind of the question, is what will my battery currently power and for how long? You know, the solar panel is always active. It's always putting juice into the battery. But I don't know if it actively supplies enough to keep it topped up continuously. You know, I've been out here running the battery quite a bit, and we're still right there, about just under 13 volts, which is pretty interesting, pretty cool. So turn that off. Don't know if I showed you the cubby light here I installed. These are Jeep rock lights, and they're awesome. They're 3 or 4 LED. They're really bright, totally waterproof, easy to install. They're die-cast metal with a lens over it that's sealed. They're super cheap, and I had them laying in the shop. They were just extras that I had. So I've got that one there, and then I put another one in the hold up front. So if I'm working in there, I can flip it and I can see what I'm doing up there. And then of course the transom, I put one here. This one I may be rethinking the wiring on both of those on a separate switch, because if we are camping at night, they're pretty bright, and you know, the actual cabin lights on the ceiling are pretty dim, and that can be pretty nice. And that one individual light I can use in red mode only if you don't want to jack up your night vision. Being in red light maintains your night vision. So I'll probably throw these two on more of a working light switch, or just label them under transom light. And it's just a matter of crawling back in the hole and moving some wires to a different spot off that circuit. So I've got my pop-top camper on. I think it's so cool, and it gives me this much headroom. I can stand up in the boat. You've got the isinglass, which is pretty clean, pretty good. I've got a full screen here. This is the transom pass. I put that in. We were sprinkling. It was raining a little bit. You can take that back out now. So this is screen, and there's also the plastic isinglass that goes over it. And then the front window, the same thing. So you get a really nice breeze through here. And then I've got my fan in the foreberth, getting a little bit of cool air off the hatch. I've got propped open a little bit, and it's pushing that cool air back that way. It's just so cool in here. I love it so much. So the inverter for power, check this out. Let me move my sail bags. Okay, that's the new spinnaker. So with that 120 inverter, 12 volt to 120, I ran a power line down the back of the boat here, down the starboard side to an outlet. So we got 120 plug in right there. And I thought, how awesome for me, if we're camping, I can put a little shelf right here. I can put my CPAP machine, and I can breathe while I sleep, because I suffer some sleep apnea. So that's super awesome. I can use my CPAP while I'm sleeping on the boat. And then I thought, what if we somehow either build a shelf on top of this, or I take the slats out that are here. This is just a weird storage area. It's just strange. And I don't know why this is here. It's all fiberglassed in, and it's, you know, the hull is about a foot back from that. It seems like a big waste of space. I'm certainly not going to cut into it, but I really think, let me move my jib. Okay. I think if I slide my toilet over to this side, I'm having a hell of a time moving it. If we move this here, that gives us a lot of room there. And I could probably build a little shelf out with legs. See, it's got an angle here. But if I come off this lip with a shelf, I could put a little tiny square refrigerator here, which would be amazing to have a little fridge right here. It's weird that it's next to the toilet. But, you know, who cares? Having a running refrigerator on the boat would be priceless. There's a couple of spots we could put it other places. But, so look at this. So, that strange space. I guarantee if I cut that open, it's a huge hole and a big void that's totally wasted space. It's very strange. There's no way to get in there. And then on this side of the boat, it's very different. There's not the same thing, but then they fiberglassed in, of course, the cabinet for the sink and everything. It's weird that you can't get in that space. Makes me want to get in there somehow. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. I'm just gonna it's kind of sprinkling outside now. I was gonna do some more outdoor work on the boat, but after doing all this stuff, it was a couple hours getting all this wired in, run correctly, and in and out of the hold. I'm kind of fried. I get to that point, my brain stops kind of working, and I'm like, okay, I need to not do these projects. So I had a little lunch, and I told Susan I'm just gonna go kind of hang out on the boat, because I love being out here. I love being on the boat. It's just fun. Put all my sails back. This one can go up front. This is the Jenniker. This is the one we call the Pride sail. It's blue with the big rainbow on it. It's really a beautiful sail. I mean, it's straight out of 1970. Susan's like, you gotta fly that, it's so beautiful. Well, it's a huge sail. So we'll make sure we can safely control the boat. So I figured out, well, I didn't figure out, I put in a board that it was missing between this sitting area and this sitting area, and this becomes the dining table, which we will never use. Why not just sit here and eat, or sit in the cockpit out there and eat in your lap? Or you can sit right here and use that as a table. But I finally figured out how the bed goes together. These two pillows I was like, it's like doing a jigsaw puzzle. I was like, how do these pillows go together? But this becomes your bed, and you could easily sleep 2 people here. It'd be a little tight, but you could certainly fit and snuggle up next to your honey and let her hog the bed. I've got my depth sounder installed over here on the wall right there, and I'm waiting for Walmart delivery to bring me 2-part slow curing epoxy. She was putting an order in today. She's like, you need anything from Walmart? And I'm like, yeah, give me this epoxy. So I've sanded the spot in the hold where it will be glued to the hull of the boat. A little bit off to the side on the back of the boat, where the water shouldn't be cavitating or circulating or any kind of wash or bubble activity be happening. You want clean, smooth water. So you wouldn't want to put it directly behind the keel, which I considered, although they say you can put it in the bilge, and that's another thing I need to work on. I need to get into the bilge. Messing with that switch, I may have messed it up, and hopefully I didn't overpower something and fry my bilge switch. It's a switch that when the water comes in, it rises and turns on. But I've done something. Either I've crossed the wiring, or I've cooked something, because it's not doing what it used to do before I messed with it. So we'll get that sorted out. You know, worst case scenario, I got to order a new float switch, and they're like $12. But and even the bilge itself, they're like 18. And the switch on the wall, it's also like 12. Maybe the cheapest boat parts I've ever encountered, honestly, because everything else is like $85 and up. So that's about it. I'm just gonna kind of hang out in my boat. It's nice and cool out today, so it's not 1,000,000 degrees in here. It's comfortable. If I had my ASA 102 book in my hands, I'd sit here and read. I ordered that today on Amazon. The class is, I believe, 20th and 21st. No, that's not right. I don't know. It's the end of August, around the 20th. It's that weekend, I think. So I'm excited about that. So that's what I've been doing today. I want to remind you, if you like and subscribe to the channel, it really helps the algorithm promote my channel so other people see it randomly in YouTube. The more followers I get, the more power the channel gains, and the more followers I can get. It's very helpful when you're trying to build a YouTube channel like this, to have as many followers and subscribers as you can get. So please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and you'll be updated when I make new videos. Thanks. If you really want to help out, you can go over to Patreon and find my Patreon, Donate Lifeboat at Patreon, or vice versa, Patreon, Donate Lifeboat. It's one of the two. If you go to Patreon and search Donate Lifeboat, I'm the only one there. And you can subscribe there and give a small monetary donation. Each time I make a new video, every time I create, it'll ding your account for a couple of bucks. If you enjoy watching the videos, it really helps support me. I think I've said in the past, I'm hemorrhaging money on this boat. I paid about $5,000 for the boat, and I've spent at least half of that retrofitting it and getting it back up in shape and condition. It's where she really should be. And I'm not done yet. There's still some things that are coming in, still things on order, still things that are in the wish list to order. Like I said, we put off paint this year because it's just simply too expensive. I would love to have done it, and it would have been a really fun project, and I would have taken an enormous amount of pride having done it, but it's just prohibitive. And the fact that I'm trying to get it done, by the end of August and get the boat on the water and actually sail it this year for at least 2 months, it's just gonna have to wait. And it may be one of those things I never do to this particular boat. I'll probably sell this boat eventually when we make the jump to the bigger boat. We hope, God forbid, something with my health prevents that. But yeah, I'd like to be able to give somebody a really, really nice boat that's been updated and cared for and well used and loved. So that's what I keep just kind of putting money into it. And the more I do, the more I love it. It'll be hard to sell the boat, for sure. But anyway, thanks for watching.